There are kind of pressures, insidious pressures from all around us when we're out on tour of what to play and what not to play. I think we appreciate that an audience is there and they're going to want, I mean, just talking to an audience, you get the feeling that they want to hear certain songs and would feel upset if they didn't hear them. And it would seem really churlish just not to do them just because we didn't want to do them. I mean, that's the reason why we play so long, is, I mean, apart from the fact we enjoy it, is also to fit in all the stuff we want to do and fit in the stuff that we think, or that we figure that the audience wants to hear. There are definitely key songs when we've played live in the past sort of 4 years that we've always played, we've never left out. I mean, Pictures of You are always in the set. I think Lullaby was always in the set, Just Like Heaven was always in the set. They're really like the singles, I suppose, that mean something. Whereas although, like in America, I suppose Love Song's our biggest single, but that isn't like a mainstay in the set. In fact, we play it very rarely. So it's a combination of what the audience wants and what we feel comfortable playing. But, I mean, it changed through last year. We played, I think, more than 60 songs in the course of the year. So, but I think there were 5 songs that we played every single night.
The ones you just mentioned.
Yeah, and open and end with the other 2.
You mentioned, we've been talking about Just Like Heaven, which is, I think the reason Electra feels that is because in it was never a big top 40 hit, but it was huge on commercial alternative radio. Any time like K-Rock in LA, WDRE in Long Island will do like their top 500 of all time, that song will be firmly entrenched in the first 5 positions.
It's because we did it at the MTV Awards.
Is that it? But
ingratiating.
What do you think of your status of still being an alternative band, even though you entered the charts at number 2 with your last album? You've had, I think Love Song was at least a number 2 or number 1 single.
Only 2.
Number 2, just missed it. What kept it out, do you remember?
I don't. What kept us out this time? Janet Jackson, I think, wasn't it? It might have been Janet Jackson before as well. I think she's got something against us.
It was either that.
She waits and she releases her records to coincide.
It was either that or like Garth Brooks or something.
Yeah, that rings a bell. It was something that we'd never heard of and we thought, how dare he?
But what do you think of, like, how do you view yourself? Isn't that weird for you, or is it weird for you to have an alternative status even though you play Dodger Stadium and Giant Stadium? How do you perceive that?
I don't know what it means, I suppose. With the Cure in that context, it's because we got nominated for our first Grammy this year for the Wish album, as in Best Alternative Album.
It would have been this last year, yeah.
Yeah, so that made us laugh, because it was like a number 2 album, and it was number 1 like everywhere else in the world. But it was like
R.E.M. was probably nominated for Best Alternative Album as well, which sold 4 million copies.
Yeah, I think they were actually. Yeah. So I mean, it's just, I suppose it's an attitude. So we should be pleased to be classified as alternative. I mean, I would hate, being serious, I would hate to be considered mainstream, because I still like the idea of people being able to like us and not be embarrassed about liking us. It's like that we're not quite right.
Perry was your roadie. Is he going to contribute now? Does he contribute to like the songs and the songwriting process, or is he going to contribute like in the making of your next album? I don't even know if you thought that far ahead or not.
Well, we never really thought of Perry as a roadie, because he's exactly the same age as us and exactly the same sense of humour and a similar upbringing. Not. I mean, we've all got pretty diverse upbringings, but it's gone through the same educational system in England, and so has the same kind of phobias, the same bugbears and that. It's very easy to get on with and understands the Cure, and as an old Cure fan, actually saw us in 1979. So it was the most natural thing in the world to, when the position became vacant, so to speak, just to invite him in. I mean, it wasn't because he could play particularly well. That's never the primary concern. Although he can play well, but he wasn't picked because he was technically a wonderful musician, and then let's see what his personality is like. I mean, he was picked because he fit, and it was like a kind of a bonus that he could actually play. Although had he not been able to play at all, I doubt if we would have considered him. But I mean, he contributed to the Wish album. He wrote Trust, just one of Perry's songs, not lyrically but musically. So he started straight away. I mean, he had like 10 years worth of stuff on cassette to play. And he's like, listen to this one. So yeah, he's very into it. In fact, he's actually like he's constantly the one on the phone to me saying, "When are we going to do something?" I haven't finished the last stuff yet, because he's sitting at home like shuffling his feet, wanting to get going, because to him it's all very new. I mean, he was in a band when he was at school and for a couple of years after he left school, but has never really been in a serious, I don't know if we're a serious band, but a band that is able to to make records. So he wants us to get going quick. So I have to patiently explain to him that I need a break for a certain period of time, otherwise I get fed up with it.
Now, the movie, was that recorded just in Detroit, one show?
Yeah, well, 2 shows.
Is there a lot of pressure on you knowing this is the movie, this is going to be it?
There was, yeah, that's why we did it. I mean, there was no other good reason for I mean, Detroit's like a good place to play, and we always have a good audience there. It's, ideally, I suppose, I would have liked to have filmed the Texas Stadium show in Dallas, just because it meant everything to me being a Cowboys fan. So that's not the reason, but it was like a big...
You're not a Cowboys fan, are you?
Sort of. I am now. Emmett Smith's given me a shirt. It was just like a big event, and it was kind of the whole setting sort of was geared up for like a film. It's like a very dramatic, and it was also very incongruous, us playing in Texas Stadium. It's kind of a meeting of like 2 extremes. But we couldn't hire Texas Stadium 2 nights running. We couldn't field it 2 nights running, sadly.
Big, but you're not that big.
Yeah, so Detroit was the only place really that we could get 2 nights in a sizable place where we knew the audience was going to be good. So if we really went badly wrong on the first night, we always had the second night to fall back on. But as it turned out, I think there's 18 or 19 songs on the video. There's only, I think, 3 from the second night. We were really good on the first night. We've never had a manager, and so I suppose that, I mean, like once a day the office will either fax me through or phone me up with a list of questions, and I just like yes, no, and it's usually no. It's easier than delegating it to someone else who you're going to disagree with. It would take twice as long arguing the point of like why we should do it, why we shouldn't do it. I mean, Chris Parry sometimes will come to me with, from fiction's point of view, say this is a great marketing idea, blah blah blah, and he'll have his 15-minute pitch, and then I say no, it doesn't feel right, and he go okay then. And I'm sure I'm hated for it a lot of the time. I mean, particularly by the record companies. Can't understand why I don't actively want to sell more records, but I realise that with the groups that I like, there's something more than just what they do musically. There has to be. You have to, like I was saying earlier about not being embarrassed about liking someone, you have to actively want to be a fan, I think. And if I ever stopped feeling that about The Cure, I know it would have all gone wrong. And so I sort of live or die by my own decisions, and I suppose that's why. I mean, we don't employ anyone. I mean, we do when we do something like a tour. Obviously, you get people in to fulfil certain functions, but in everyday life, you don't really need anyone. I think people are scared to take the responsibility for their own lives a lot of the time. That's why they have people around them, and it kind of keeps in other ways. But I'd never be like let the group, I suppose, drift off and lose control of it, because I've invested half my life in it.